And good morning, everybody. It is Wonderful Wednesday with Christine Walorz. Now, Christine, you are a wonderful life insurance agent because you really care. Okay. How do I know this? Because you helped my family. Okay. So I appreciate you being on here.
Thank you. I appreciate you trusting me to help your family with life insurance. And I appreciate being on here too as well. Happy Wednesday.
Yes. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Okay. I've got some questions.
Okay.
Okay. So my daughter, she's got lots of friends who are just getting, they're starting in work and they're finding out that they can get life insurance through work. Okay. And I have said to her, I've said, okay, remind them that they can do that, but actually they might also, while they're still young and healthy and fit, they might also like to speak to a life insurance specialist like yourself. Okay.
Right.
So tell us more about that.
Okay, I'm so glad you brought that up because that is one of the big messages that I try to get out to the world. And sometimes I feel like I'm just one person trying to teach everyone this. So I really appreciate the opportunity. So it is really important that we own our own life insurance. So when you talk about young people graduating from high school or maybe graduating from college and they go out and they get their grown-up job, right? Their first big job. One of the great things about getting those jobs is that we get benefits, right? We get health insurance and 401ks and many employers provide life insurance, which is great. We want to get whatever free life insurance we can get from our employer, right? Why wouldn't we? But in addition to that, it's really important that people understand we have to own our life insurance as well. So we get what we can for free from work. And sometimes work will offer supplemental coverage where you can pay a small amount and buy additional life insurance. Well, sometimes that's good. You can get some extra life insurance for an affordable price, but you can't compare those types of life insurance policies to the types of policies you can get outside of work from a life insurance professional like myself. And if I could, I just want to, obviously explain the differences, right? Yeah. So when you get life insurance from your employer, obviously when you don't work there anymore, that life insurance goes away. And some people will say, well, the supplemental insurance, I can take that with me. Well, some you can, some you cannot. But when you take it with you outside of that job, the employer is no longer paying their portion. And oftentimes they're paying between 75%, 90% of that supplemental coverage. So your premium is tiny when you're at work. Once you leave that employer, your premium goes 4, 5, maybe 6 times more than what you were paying at work. Okay. And in addition to that, it's what's called annually renewable. So it actually goes up every single year. So maybe you leave your job in your 20s and you take a policy with you. But by the time you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s, most people cannot afford it anymore. And oftentimes that's when they're reaching out to me. So get what you can for free at work. But as an 18-year-old, whether you're a parent and you have 18-year-old children, or you're out on your own and you're responsible for your own self, at 18, that's when you should be buying your own life insurance. Like you said, lock it in at a super low rate and you can have it for 20, 25, 30 years. And some people even put in lifetime life insurance policies at that age as well. So that's really what you should do.
Okay, so I will be getting some of my daughter's friends to get in touch with you so that you can explain that to them, because I think it's, well, it is important because we never know what happens. And you also helped my family because when my daughter was 14, we got an insurance policy for her. And I know a lot of people are saying, why would you get something for somebody when they're so young? However, you go for it. You tell us how wise it is to do that.
Sure. And that's a topic that a lot of people don't like to talk about. People worry about, like, why would I want to have life insurance on my child? And, years ago, I actually canceled all my life insurance policies on my children because I was listening to Dave Ramsey at the time. And he said, why would you want to profit off the death of your child? And I thought, oh my gosh, like, that's not what I'm trying to do. And I was shamed into having life insurance on my children. I canceled all their policies. Then I came to my senses and realized, as a, middle America, average income, we're an average family. If the worst were to happen, that would be a huge financial hit, number one. Also, we probably would be out of work for a while. So it can be there for that financial protection. Okay. Yeah. That's the thing we don't want to think about, but it does happen. That's number one. But number two, you get a life insurance policy on your baby, and what you mentioned earlier, you get those great prices. I can't even begin to tell you like how inexpensive it is. I mean, I guess I should tell you, there are plans for children that are just $2, $3, $4, $5 a month, and it's locked in for the rest of their life. Or we can get policies for our children. You know, maybe your budget is $25. We can put a great whole life policy in place for that child that will grow over time. And you can pay it off in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And so now they have this locked in life insurance for the rest of their life. Nobody has to pay for it anymore. And it's growing in size. Like, how great is that?
It is great, because I think hers was for however many years, and I think I've stopped paying it. So I need to talk to you about that, to go over her policy and see what's going on.
Time for a review.
Yeah, time for a review. And that's another thing, isn't it, that you do, Christine?
Yes.
It's like, it's not just, you have a one-off. It's like you're there for people, and because you have the policies and you understand them, you build that relationship with people. And I know this because actually, I even got my husband on the call as well, and he really doesn't like people very much. He's not going to thank me for saying that.
I find that hard to believe.
But but he was really chatty with you, and you didn't mind him asking those really crunchy English questions. So, and actually, it was brilliant, Christine, because you said to us, actually, your life insurance policy that you've got in England is good. Keep that one. However, because you're in America, and because we have to, there's this whole thing of health issues, because we have the health in the NHS, the National Health Insurance, the health service in England. And if we're in hospital, it's covered, it's all paid for. Even doctor's visits, everything it's like we don't have to do that. However, here in America, you have to pay. And you have this wonderful thing. And I was really curious about it. So explain it to other people as well. It's called living with benefits. And we did get that with you.
Yes.
Because, and that's helpful. So
it is. So it's called a living benefit, right? So life insurance, I think most people understand, life insurance has a death benefit. We have it until the end of our life, and then, it pays out. A living benefit is when the insurance company or the particular policy that you have has a rider or a condition built into it where if you experience a chronic or critical or terminal illness or injury and live, so say you're a runner or a biker or a motorcycle driver and you get hit by a car, you break your back, you have lots of internal injuries, you see those pictures of people, with pins everywhere, right? And they're bandaged from head to toe. And they go to rehab after the hospital and they have to learn to walk again, or they get a cognitive, like a head injury, not a cognitive impairment, but like a head injury, right? So something like that happens, or we have a heart attack or a stroke or an invasive cancer. Well, when those things happen and we live, well, our expenses go through the roof. Mm-hmm. Our income plummets, usually can go away, or maybe you get 40 or 60% with disability eventually, but our expenses go up, our income goes down. So what do? Well, if we have a life insurance policy with living benefits, we can actually reach out to that insurance company. I'll use the term claim just because people are familiar with that term, but we apply for an acceleration of the death benefit. I'm alive, but I need the money now. Do I qualify for that? And that's what living benefits are. So the insurance company, based on the severity of the situation, how has it impacted your mortality, and they realize, okay, you need the money now. So they will make you an offer to accelerate a percentage of the death benefit. The death benefit goes down, but you receive that money now, tax-free, no strings attached. You put it in the checking account, and now you can pay for food. You can pay your bills. You keep your lights on, pay your mortgage. Maybe you have, maybe you need babysitters, right? Or Ubers and things like that. You can pay your copays, whatever you need to. So living benefits are when we experience an illness or an injury and we survive. but we need the money now. And so it's not, if you break your arm or, you fall down, you break your ankle, it's not for things like that, right? You want Aflac for that. But when you have something chronic or critical or terminal, an illness or an injury, that's when we can tap into those living benefits.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's really helpful. That's what we got with you.
Yes.
As I say, we had a lot of questions around it. And so it was really helpful. And of course, with us being English, could we get it and all that sort of thing? And you found a policy. And I know you do that as well, Christine, for a lot of people. People will say, well, I'm already, I've got diabetes, or I'm already this is happening. Can you still get me some insurance?
Yes, absolutely.
You go above and beyond.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, what you're saying, right? I hear that all the time. People say, oh, I'm too unhealthy for life insurance, or you can't get me covered, right? Especially men. And it's not always true. There's a life insurance policy out there for almost everybody. Okay. There's even what's called guaranteed issue. So if you currently have cancer, or you currently have kidney failure, or whatever the situation might be, you might have a parent with Alzheimer's or dementia, right? Or maybe you have early onset, right? So there are some instances where we don't necessarily qualify for traditional, typical life insurance. So there is that guaranteed issue life insurance, no medical questions, and you can get coverage. And it gives people that peace of mind. So at least there's coverage there for final expenses and funeral costs and things like that.
Yeah. I was just going to ask, what would those, because it might not be huge amounts, but it would be the final expenses, like you say.
Right.
I think a funeral will average at something like $20,000. Is that right?
It depends, a funeral is a very emotional purchase, right? So for many people, especially if it's a younger person, or sometimes we tragically lose a spouse, right? So a funeral with a burial and with a funeral home and a service and flowers and cars and a dinner afterwards and programs and things like that. Yes, I've helped clients with their funeral planning, and sure, I've seen people spend $20,000 on a funeral. And then for those people that do not want to spend that kind of money or cannot afford to spend that kind of money, even a $5,000 life insurance policy can help cover, a cremation and a small ceremony and a program. You could even do direct cremation, which is only a couple $1,000s. But it's more than just paying for that funeral, though, right? There's the time off from work. There's the travel that might be involved. There's the paying the last rent, or keeping rent on a place or a mortgage going until you can get a place cleaned out, storage units, cleaners, movers, right? There are so many expenses that go along when someone passes away that is close to us, that's in our family. So you might think, well, I'm only going to do a small, inexpensive cremation, but you want to think about all those other things. So maybe you do need $25,000, as a funeral coverage, or $50,000. So we want to think about all those different things.
Yeah. No, I agree. And because really nobody wants to be doing a GoFundMe,
No, that's a touchy subject with me, right? Because I want to see funeral GoFundMes just go away. Sure, they serve a purpose for some people. People like to do them when their dog needs surgery, or somebody's out of work, right? But we need to be responsible. If we are a spouse, if we are a parent, we need to be responsible parents and responsible spouses, and have life insurance so that our surviving family members can maintain their lifestyle, to not be burdened with the pressure of fundraising and having to sell a home or move, change school districts, move in with family, to not be able to do the services they wish they could afford, right?
Oh, yeah, it can be absolutely devastating. And it happens every day, every hour. Yeah. It's like, it's horrendous. And, you do you provide a really important service for people. It's just that when people talk to you, you do give that extra friendly, caring advice, you know, and I know you are like a pit bull dog with it. You know, you will find them the best policy for them, and you will fight for them. And that's actually what people want. Everybody wants a Christine Walorz in their you know, in their back pocket.
Thank you. It's funny that you remember that I say that. I will say to people, like, I'm a bulldog when it comes to getting people life insurance, because I don't want to give up. I'm the last person to ever give up on getting someone life insurance. And like I was saying a few minutes ago, like, there's something out there for pretty much everyone. And when you was talking about people, like when they feel like they're unhealthy, people think they're too heavy, right? People worry about their weight with their life insurance. You would be surprised how generous the weight charts are for life insurance, seriously. And also people worry that, oh, I'm on medications. That's okay, because if you have a diagnosis of, say, high blood pressure or cholesterol or diabetes, the insurance company wants you to be taking care of yourself. So they want to know that you're regularly taking your high blood pressure medication, or you're using your CPAP machine nightly, right? If you're doing the things that your doctor tells you to do, then the insurance company is going to listen to those things, and they're going to work with me to help you get the coverage that you and your family need.
Excellent. I love it. Thank you, Christine. So how does somebody get in touch with you? Have you got your website, or is it best by phone? What do you prefer?
So a lot of people use my website. They'll go to Walorz Insurance. You just put Walorz Insurance and it'll come up. But walorzinsurance.com, there is a contact me form on there. So I do get weekly. Okay. I get multiple people a week contacting me that way. It's pretty simple, easy, straightforward form. And you can put whatever you want in there. You can also email me. My contact information is on LinkedIn. It's on Facebook. It's on Google. It's on my website. So it's very simple. I can put it in the comments, but email is fine. I get a lot of emails. And then, yes, people are welcome to call me or text me. I actually answer calls and texts up till 9 p.m. at night. I will communicate 7 days a week. And I do actually, it's not that I don't have boundaries, but I do offer appointments every day of the week and evenings until 9, so that people who are busy or have little kids or just feel like they can't find the time, I try to remove all those excuses and make it so that all we have to do is get on a quick phone call. We can do everything over the phone or Zoom, or I'll even come to you in person if you're, within a couple hours of me in the Triangle in North Carolina. Otherwise, we do it over the phone and over Zoom. Yeah. Easy peasy.
Yeah, it was. You you helped us over Zoom, and you don't live too far away.
I know. Isn't that funny? I know. We still did it over the phone. I think that was to accommodate your husband, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
And that's okay. I'm here for that. For that.
Well, actually, I think COVID was on at the time. So that shows
how it might have been. I was actually trying to remember if it was 2020 that you guys got your policies, but it might have been a little. Some of them might have been sooner, like previous to that.
Yeah, well, we only arrived 2019, so I think.
Oh, then it was 2020, and that's why. It was. That's why. I still remember sitting in my living room on the phone with you guys.
I know. I know. It's funny. We have that emotional, attachment to certain things. It's so funny. Yeah. So, Christine, thank you for coming on. Thank you for educating us on that. And if anybody does have any other questions and wants to get in touch with Christine, then do. She's easy to find, and we'll make sure we've got your links as well in the comments. So thank you for watching, everybody. And it's goodbye from me, Claudia Rickard, and it's goodbye from
me, Christine Walorz, your local life insurance specialist.
So take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.